underestimating demand for Switch 2. So we're over at Video Gamer here, where it says Nintendo underestimates massive Switch 2 demand due to the console's high price. As we scroll down here, it says the Nintendo Switch 2 is expected to be the biggest console launch of all time.
Well, of course it will be, especially in Japan, because that's where most of their sales are coming from. That's why they're sitting there having a hard time keeping them stocked up for pre-orders, because Japan wants to sit there and buy so many. But you know why? Because they get it at a very discounted rate. They get a $330 Switch 2. Unlike us, we got to sit there and pay $450. You got to love subsidizing another country's welfare, don't you?
With Nintendo now expecting the new handheld to outsell the original's first year within its 3-month release window. Nintendo has already admitted that it has massively underestimated the demand for the Nintendo Switch 2, but now company president Shintaro Furukawa has explained why. Simply put, the console's high price was expected to be a bigger issue for potential customers.
Oh, really? Yes, with the high price. The thing is, this comparison that they're doing, or the stats that you're getting them from, is a very biased stats because of Japan. Most of the pre-orders are coming from Japan, where again, they're getting it at $330. You're being disingenuous over there, Primey.
So, in the company's latest earnings call via VGC, Furukawa explained that the console's high price of 395.99 euros, pounds there, and then 449 US, posed a challenge to early adoption. However, the company has since found that the hype for the upcoming handheld has outpaced its expectations. Here's a quote: Nintendo Switch 2 is priced relatively high compared to the Nintendo Switch.
Yes, because of Japan again. Even you sat there and said in one of your videos that they came out and like apologized that they couldn't keep up with the demand because of Japan, because they're getting theirs for $330. How about we get ours for $330? They probably would sell up to 30 million consoles the first year then.
Furukawa added that the addition of the console's Mario Kart World Bundle was an initial plan to offset the challenge of the console's high price. The president explained that the bundle was devised to accelerate adoption in the first fiscal year, aiming to get off with the same start we did with Nintendo Switch.
They did that because they sat there and wanted to bundle it together to make it seem like you guys were getting a deal. So they sat there and gave you the illusion that you were getting a deal, but in reality, yeah, you sat there and spent $30 less for the Mario Kart World, but then overpaid $120 for the Switch.
Again, Nintendo's not moving off of their 15 million projection, but it's kind of interesting to see that they really did not understand or fully grasp what was going on here with the demand for the system, because they did think it was priced quite expensive. They're openly admitting that. They're not denying it.
Oh yeah, but how many of those consoles are going to be sold in Japan? I wonder. I really wonder. It would not surprise me if at least half of that 15 million are coming from Japan alone.
Has Hogwarts Legacy on Switch 2 upgrade is $10 if you own the Switch 1 version, which is on sale for $17.99 in the eShop, or it can be had for $15 if you buy like the digital deluxe version, so you have like the DLC one. So the Switch 1 is $17.99, Switch 2 $10 upgrade offer after buying the Switch 1 version. The physical game key card is $59.99. Now, this to me is mostly a really good story for Hogwarts Legacy. WB definitely could have just charged us.
I don't say you think this is good, because I sat there and looked into it. You have to have gotten it the digital version to get that $10 upgrade. That upgrade should be free. After that horrible port that you guys got for the Switch 1, the least they can do, the bare minimum, is to give you guys the free update. And then how much they're going to sell this to you for the Switch 2 version is ridiculous. You can go get the PS5 version, which is a better version, by the way. You can get that one for $25 at Target right now. And they're probably going to sell it to you guys for 50, 60 bucks. Let's see what he has to say.
Full price for the new game, regardless if you already owned it on Switch. But some people are out there arguing, well, this is just an upgraded version of the game. Why are they charging at all, right? Why are they doing any sort of upcharge? And this is where the context comes in. Unlike Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, those games that are charging for upgrades, unlike those games, this is actually an entirely new version of the game.
No, it's not, because if that was the case, if you had the digital version, then they wouldn't sit there and give you a $10 upgrade charge to get the new version. All it is the one on the Switch 1 is a downgrade, and the Switch 2 version is an upgrade. Now you're just trying to justify this BS.
If you've been paying attention to the developer interviews, they did not port the Switch 1 version to Switch 2. Instead, they ported a modern day version like PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, etc. over to Nintendo Switch 2, meaning this is an entirely new version.
No, it's not. That's why if you get like The Last of Us, the PS4 version, you can pay the $10 upgrade. At least I think you can. I know some of Sony's games you got to pay the upgrade, which is BS also, by the way. But if you get the PS4 version of the game, to get that PS5 upgrade version, it's a different version, just like you're saying, but it's still an upgrade. It's still the same thing
of the game. So you can't just download like an upgrade pack. That's not what it is. You'd have to re-download the whole game.
They can still sit there and just give it to you. That's why if you own the eShop one or the digital version of Hogwarts Legacy from the Switch one, you pay a $10 upgrade charge. If that was the case, then they can just give you the free one if you own the game. It's very simple, Primey.
That's the difference here in this particular situation. Hogwarts Legacy does not have an upgrade pack. You're just able to purchase the Switch 2 game for $10. Again,
then why are you only paying $10 for the upgrade charge then? If it's a whole nother version and you have to download a whole new game, why are you paying $10 for an upgrade for the eShop?
It's not an upgrade pack. It's not some patch to the Switch 1 version. It's an entirely new version of the game. That's what makes this highly unique. And ultimately, I feel like a really, really good deal, especially because considering you can get, $30 now if you want to buy it completely brand new and didn't already own Hogwarts Legacy.
If you already own the Switch 1 version, you get it for free because that Switch 1 version, from what I remember, was broken when they launched it. It was ridiculous. And of course you would think it's a great deal. Of course you would, Primey. You think Mario Kart World is a great deal. You think the bundle is a good deal because you're just easily brainwashed by these greedy corporations.
It's also really exciting for me. I don't have to buy that game key card or anything like that. I already have the digital version. I can just get my upgrade on Switch 2. Now,
of course it doesn't affect you. Why wouldn't you sit there and stand up for the consumer for once in your damn life? He's already like, oh, I already got the digital version. I bet if he didn't have the digital version, would have never had it to begin with. I guarantee you he would be angry that he would have to pay full price for it. Now, I don't know what the full price is. I bet it's going to be like 60, 70 bucks. Guess what? You can go get the PS5 version, which is going to be a far superior one, for $25.
My whole thing is, yes, their slogan is forever physical, which to me means if you're working with a company and they're telling you, hey, we want to do this physical collector's edition, but we want to use a game key card, goes against your slogan. So I would just tell them, no, we either do a full physical release or we don't do this at all.
I actually agree with you, but why don't you keep that same standard to Nintendo when it comes to the game key cards? You can sit there and tell Nintendo, or Nintendo can sit there and go tell those third party, no, this is my platform. If you want to release your games on my platform, they will be physical games on the game itself. They will not be game key cards. But of course, you will never hold Nintendo or Daddy Nintendo to the fire like this.
Yes, Limited Run has the ability to say no.
Yes, just like Nintendo has the ability to tell the third parties no about the game key cards.
They could just say no. They are the ones creating this bundle. They can tell them, no, it's full physical or we don't work with you.
I completely agree with you. Why don't you ever tell Nintendo this when it comes to the game key cards? It's their platform. Keep the energy consistent.
But,
just like you with your subscribers, you keep helping Nintendo brainwash these poor people, and you're just using them to fund your lifestyle.
In Mario Kart World in particular, some stuff for the open world segment. I'm willing to bet there's a lot of undiscovered things in the open world free roam stuff that we're just going to have to find for ourselves. I've got a feeling this game is just jam-packed with content. And look, with such limited demo play sessions, like 10, 15 minutes, I think some people were saying there was like only 5 minutes to run around in free roam mode, that, yeah, it's one of those things that were intentionally being limited to not discover everything before the game comes out. So,
that's BS. You actually think that's the reason why they didn't want to show you too much so you can discover it on your own? No, they sat there and limited your demo experience so you couldn't sit there and go be truthful, which I don't know why they would think you would be truthful. Of all the YouTube content creators out there, you are the least one to be truthful. They just didn't want you guys to see that it's definitely not going to be worth it for the $80 price tag. Well, that's it for my reaction. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me or not. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay vigilant.